Alex worked alone in the maintenance room of the orbital station above Arendor 7. The hum of machinery and the occasional warning light were his only companions. The station was huge, stretching across the dark side of the planet like a metal spider, and most of the personnel were either busy in labs, in command centers, or floating in zero-gravity corridors. Alex preferred quiet spaces like this. It allowed him to think, to focus, to fix things that no one else could. He had been repairing a communications array for hours, adjusting tiny circuits and testing connections. Humans were known for improvisation, and Alex had a talent for it. That talent had earned him a quiet reputation across the frontier colonies. But even he did not expect what happened next. The door slid open without a knock. That was unusual in itself, but Alex didn't have time to react before a figure stepped inside. She moved with a fluid, confident grace, one that seemed impossible for someone so tall and slim. Her species was known for strict protocols and etiquette. Anyone entering a human workspace without permission would normally cause an uproar across the station. But this figure didn't care. She had no hesitation, no fear. Her dress, ornate and ceremonial, hung heavily on her frame, patterned with symbols of rank and authority. In a single motion, she pulled it off and tossed it aside. Alex blinked, taken aback. Not because of what she wore or didn't, but because of the sheer confidence in her eyes. She was playful, almost mischievous, and yet her purpose was clear. She winked at him. It was not a wink of flirtation. It was a signal, a sign that she trusted him. "Alex," she said in smooth, accented English, "I need your help. Quickly." Alex stared for a moment, then scrambled to his feet. "Lyra, is that really you? What are you doing here?" Lyra didn't answer with words at first. She pointed at the main console where warning lights blinked faintly. "There's no time. The energy core is unstable. If we do not fix it, the entire station will be destroyed." Alex felt a cold weight settle in his chest. He had heard rumors that her flagship had problems, but he never expected the problem to reach the orbital station itself. "Energy core?" he repeated. I don't know if I can—" "Yes, you can," Lyra interrupted, walking closer. "You humans have a talent the others lack. You think differently. You see possibilities where we see limits. That is why you are here." Alex swallowed hard. She wasn't just asking. She was counting on him, and he couldn't let her or the station down. "Okay," he said finally. "Show me what's wrong." Lyra led him through the station's narrow corridors, past laboratories where alien engineers worked in silence, their movements precise and almost robotic. She moved as if she belonged, but the other engineers hardly looked at her. They didn't need to. They knew her rank, her authority, and they respected it or feared it. The energy core was massive. It pulsed faintly with blue light, surrounded by complex conduits and panels covered in alien symbols. Most engineers would have been intimidated. Most humans would have run away. But Alex felt his mind start to race. Humans thrived in problems that required thinking beyond the obvious, and this was exactly the kind of challenge he craved. "Here," Lyra said, pointing at a panel, "the stabilization circuits are failing. Your species has handled similar systems before, yes?" Alex nodded. "Yes, but these designs, they're alien. The principles are different, but the concept is similar. I can try." He rolled up his sleeves and leaned over the panel. His fingers moved deftly, tracing connections, testing voltages, and analyzing feedback. Lyra watched silently, occasionally offering a hint or clarifying a symbol. The two of them worked together, human intuition blending with alien precision. Minutes stretched into hours. The hum of the station was punctuated by the occasional beep, the hiss of venting gas, and the deep pulse of the energy core. Alex could feel the strain, the weight of responsibility pressing on his shoulders. One wrong move could end everything. Then came the first breakthrough. Alex noticed a feedback loop the aliens had overlooked. He rerouted the circuits in a way no one had thought possible, stabilizing the first section of the core. The light pulsed more steadily. Lyra's eyes widened. She didn't smile, but Alex could see the gratitude in her gaze. "You humans are remarkable," she said quietly. Alex felt a small surge of pride. "Remarkable? In your eyes, maybe," he replied, smiling faintly. But the moment of relief was short-lived. The station shuddered violently. Warning sirens blared. Red lights flashed. Lyra grabbed his arm and pulled him back. "They are here," she said. "The intruders." Alex followed her to a security panel. On the screen, a group of unknown ships approached the station. Their shapes were angular and aggressive, unlike anything Alex had seen. They weren't coming to negotiate. They were coming to destroy. "Do we have any defense?" Alex asked, his voice tight. Lyra shook her head. "The standard weapons are ineffective against them. If they breach the station, we lose everything. But there is one chance." "A human chance," Alex frowned. "A human chance?" "Yes, improvisation, creativity, something outside the rules. That is your strength. I need you to find it." Alex took a deep breath. The station was shaking. Alarms screamed. And yet, for the first time, he felt fully alive. This was what humans were born to do: adapt, survive, and overcome impossible odds. He moved to the main console. With Lyra guiding him, he began rerouting power, creating makeshift shields, and setting traps. Every move was a gamble. Every decision mattered. He was improvising on a scale he had never imagined. Lyra worked beside him, her movements precise but confident. She adjusted panels, monitored energy flow, and provided vital information he could not understand from the human perspective. Together they formed a team unlike any other. Human intuition and alien discipline, merging to save a station on the brink of destruction. Hours passed. The intruders closed in, firing plasma beams that tore through the outer shields. Alex's shields held barely. His traps slowed the attackers, buying precious time. Lyra's admiration grew. She had witnessed countless humans, but none had moved with such fearless ingenuity. Finally, Alex identified a weak point in the intruder's approach vector. He rerouted the station's energy into a precise countermeasure, striking at the enemy ships with pinpoint accuracy. The intruders faltered, their advance halted. The station shuddered but remained intact. Lyra exhaled deeply, relief washing over her features. "You did it," she said softly. "You saved the station." Alex felt a mixture of exhaustion and pride. "We did it," he corrected. "I couldn't have done it without you." She smiled faintly, the first real smile he had seen. "You humans underestimate yourselves. But today you proved why you are unique." The alarms quieted. The station's hum returned to its usual rhythm. Alex leaned against a panel, sweat on his brow, his hands trembling from fatigue. Lyra stood beside him, watching the stars outside the observation window. "Alex," she said after a moment, "there will be more challenges, larger crises. But I hope you will help again." Alex nodded, feeling a strange mix of fear and excitement. Humanity had always faced impossible odds, but this was something beyond imagination, and he realized for the first time that humans could make a difference, not just on their own planets, but across the galaxy. As he looked at Lyra, he remembered her first wink, the casual confidence, the trust she had placed in him. That single gesture had led him here, to a moment where human creativity and courage had saved an entire station. And as the stars outside the station glimmered, Alex knew one thing: this was only the beginning. The station trembled under the distant impact of the intruders' attacks, but Alex and Lyra refused to pause. Every second counted. While the main energy core had been stabilized, there were secondary systems that were still vulnerable. If those failed, the intruders would gain control, and the entire station and everyone aboard would be lost. Alex worked quickly, rerouting circuits, sealing critical access points, and monitoring energy flow. Lyra moved beside him, calm and precise, guiding him through the alien technology with quiet authority. Her earlier playfulness had vanished. Now there was only focus, determination, and trust. The wink that had startled Alex before seemed to have been a promise. Together, they could overcome anything. The intruders' ships hovered closer, firing bursts of plasma that slammed against the station's reinforced shields. Sparks flew along the outer hull. The station rocked violently, throwing loose objects across corridors. Alex's hands were raw from hours of work, but he refused to stop. Human resilience was more than physical endurance. It was the ability to think under pressure, to find solutions when no one else could. Lyra leaned over a console. "They are adapting to our countermeasures. Their attack patterns are unpredictable. If we do not act fast, the secondary core systems will fail." Alex clenched his teeth. "Then we have to improvise again. Humans don't give up. We adapt." He began rerouting auxiliary power into improvised energy shields around the vulnerable systems. It was dangerous, the circuits were overloaded, and one wrong move could fry the entire station. But humans thrived on challenges. They thrived when there seemed to be no solution. Alex worked with precise timing, testing, adjusting, recalibrating. Lyra watched him closely, impressed by his intuition. Your species. You see things differently. Where we see limits, you see opportunity. It is remarkable. Alex allowed himself a brief smile, though sweat ran down his face. I guess it's what humans do best. The intruders intensified their attack and alarms shrieked across the station. One of the rogue ships fired a concentrated blast at a junction near the secondary systems. Sparks flew and a section of the wall warped under the heat. Alex grabbed a nearby tool, adjusting a circuit at the last possible moment. A surge of energy shot through the rerouted shields, blocking the attack and stabilizing the junction. Lyra exhaled. Incredible. You saved us again. Alex shook his head. We saved ourselves. You're not bad at this either. But there was no time for relief. The intruders were clever, methodical. They were not aiming to destroy randomly. They were testing the station's defenses, probing for weaknesses. Alex realized something. To survive, they needed to turn the tables. They needed to strike not just defensively, but offensively. He turned to Lyra. I have an idea, but it's risky. We can't just block them. We have to hit them where they don't expect it. Lyra tilted her head. Explain. Alex pulled up schematics of the intruders' approach vectors. There's a blind spot in their formation. If we reroute power through the station's external conduits, we can create a concentrated pulse at that point. It will disable their targeting systems long enough for us to counterattack. But it requires precise timing, and it could overload our circuits if I miscalculate. Lyra considered it. Then let's do it. I trust your human judgment. Together, they worked furiously. Alex recalculated energy flow, redirected conduits, and aligned the pulse with the intruder's blind spot. Lyra monitored systems, ensuring that the station could handle the strain. Time seemed to stretch endlessly, the tension almost unbearable. Every second counted. One misstep would mean failure. Finally, the moment came. Alex activated the pulse. A brilliant surge of energy shot through the external conduits and slammed into the blind spot. The intruders' ships shuddered, systems failing, weapons offline. They staggered, confused, and their attack faltered. Alex exhaled, relief washing over him. Lyra smiled faintly. It worked, but there was no time to celebrate. The rogue ships were still dangerous, and their numbers were more than the station's defenses could handle in a prolonged battle. Alex realized they needed a final decisive move. He turned to Lyra. We need to combine our efforts. Your precision, my improvisation. Together we can end this, Lyra nodded. Agreed, what do you propose? Alex gestured to the energy core. We can channel a concentrated energy wave directly through the station's shields, aimed at their main ships. It's risky. If the timing is off, it could destabilize the station. But it might be our only chance. Lyra studied the system. I will synchronize with you. Your human instincts, my control over the core. We can do this. For the next several minutes, they worked in perfect harmony. Alex guided the energy, calculating angles, timing, and flow. Lyra adjusted the core's output, fine-tuning the pulse and monitoring the structural integrity of the station. Sparks flew around them, alarms screamed, and the station groaned under the strain. Then, with a final command, Alex initiated the pulse. A wave of energy surged outward, striking the rogue ships with precise accuracy. Their systems failed, engines stalled, and one by one they drifted powerless through space. The attack had succeeded. The station was safe. Alex slumped against a console, exhausted. Lyra stood beside him, her expression a mixture of relief and admiration. You humans, she said quietly, you truly are remarkable. Today you saved more than just a station. You saved lives and perhaps even the future of our species. Alex smiled faintly, sweat dripping down his face. We saved it together. Humans alone can do a lot, but sometimes it takes teamwork, even with aliens. Lyra's gaze softened. You have changed my perception of your species. Your courage, your ingenuity, it is unlike anything we have seen. You are truly unique. For the first time, Alex felt a sense of pride not just for himself, but for humanity. In a galaxy filled with advanced species, humans had something special: creativity, courage, and the ability to improvise under impossible pressure. As the station's systems stabilized and the alarms quieted, Lyra turned to him. There will be more challenges ahead. This was only the beginning. But I hope, I hope you will remain by my side when they come. Alex nodded, a sense of determination settling in his chest. Wherever you go, Lyra, I'll be ready. Humans don't back down from what's necessary. The stars outside the observation window shimmered, and the orbital station floated silently in the void, battered but unbroken. Alex and Lyra stood together, a human and an alien, side by side. Their victory was more than a triumph over enemies. It was proof that cooperation, courage, and the human spirit could overcome even the most impossible odds. As the station personnel slowly resumed their work, whispering about the incredible feats of the human engineer and the alien diplomat, Alex realized something profound. Humans were not the strongest or the fastest. They were not the most advanced in technology or biology, but they were resilient, resourceful, adaptable, and when it mattered most, they could change the outcome of any battle, any crisis, anywhere in the galaxy. Lyra glanced at him, a small smile playing at her lips. I once thought humans were fragile, she said softly. I was wrong, Alex chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. Fragile? Maybe. But give us a challenge and watch how we survive. For the first time, Alex felt the weight of what they had accomplished. Not just the station, not just the lives saved, but the proof that humans could rise to meet the impossible. And as the orbital station drifted peacefully above Arendor 7, he knew that this was just the beginning of a story far larger than either of them could imagine. The galaxy was vast, filled with challenges and unknown dangers, but humans were ready. And somewhere deep in the stars, Alex knew more crises would come. He was ready. Humanity was ready.